Hello and welcome everybody to the latest edition of the Jam and Cheese Show. Cheese, a little bit disappointed with your, personally, with your cup of tea you've made yourself, but it tastes good for you and that's the main thing, right?
Yes, it's my sort of strength. I need the protein from the milk. You're a bit anal, I'll be honest.
The protein from the milk, yeah.
The milk got a lot of protein in it, surely.
I think...
You probably got almond milk in yours.
I don't actually. I have normal full cream milk in a tea. Yeah. I have almond milk in my coffee though, but that's
one disappointment. I didn't use a white cup.
I know.
The one behind me has got a bit of dust and debris in it. So.
Just give it a rinse. I'm all about solutions, mate.
Yes,
but as long as it tastes good for you, that's all that matters.
No, it's delicious. I think it's just because it's Tetley.
Probably. How are you going? How's the injury coming along? No cast.
Injury's coming along well. Hopefully play this week during the bye, but I don't know. See what the team does. I'd like to get a run under my belt, whether that's for the Bears or Sydney. I don't know yet. So. I'm sort of looking forward to it. I still have the week off training, so I only train with the reserve grade side this week.
So what's the specialist said? Like, is he or
it's
she?
Good. It's good to go. She's real good. It's ugly though.
What?
Look at that.
Yeah, it's like a clobber hand, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not well.
Is it going to go down or not? Or is that
no?
For life?
That's me. That's me.
Try not to draw it.
I'm not going to be a hand model anytime soon. But yes, I could be a real model soon. The amount of weight I've lost.
Standard though. Does that mean good looking bloke, are you?
Yeah, I'll take it.
On to football things. Mate, have you seen the Origin teams?
Yes, I have. I'm still back in New South Wales.
Mate.
New South Wales will get it done. Those Queensland, that team sucks. There's no way the Queensland team could win.
We'll deal with Queensland first because that's easier. Because otherwise we'll forget. AJ Brimson, like swap. I like that. It's not putting the hammer in there.
So Ponga
said no.
Ponga said no. Damn, he's been playing good footy too.
He was really good against the Bulldogs, who we're going to touch on and unpack a little bit later. And then Corey Horsburgh.
Yeah, I love that.
How good?
Yeah. The big red, one of the white rhinos, few left in the world.
We're a dying breed, and he's flying the flag.
Geez, you guys have a lot in common too. Pasty white.
Well, it kind of comes with the territory, doesn't it? Like, you could say that about pretty much any ginger. Like, you know what? Gingers, they're just a free hit. We're just a fucking
because it's not racist, is it?
No, but I honestly think, right, in... I don't know, cast you, like, say 50 years, people will look back at this sort of style of chat and be like, can't believe they got away with saying that about gingers.
Like when I watch South Park, I don't know how that show's still running.
How they get away with it.
It's amazing.
Yeah, they do like a pop at the gingers on South Park as well. We don't have souls.
But I reckon that... I got a funny story about Corey, actually.
Do you know him?
Yeah, I played under 20s with Corey.
Ah.
And when he was coming through the academy in 2016, he was coming through the Cowboys Academy. I think he would have been 18.
He would not be suited for Townsville weather.
I think he got sacked, so he wasn't very suited. But I remember watching them run the Bronco, and it was like us older 20s players watch the younger boys coming through. They done the Bronco. If you don't know what the Bronco is, it's 20, 40... 60 meters, so that's 1.2 kilometers. And I remember...
you do it times 5. You do 5, 20, 40, 60.
Yeah.
20 back, 40 back, 60 back, 5 times.
And I remember watching Corey, and I was like, have a look at this ranger go. And he was flying, and I was like, watch him, he's going to pucker out. And it was him and Ruben Cotter. They were both in the same thing. And he just kept going. I couldn't believe it, because he was bigger, like a little bit chubbier back then. And I couldn't believe how fit he was. And he went out hard. And usually you don't do that. You try to tempo yourself. I think Ruben Cotter won it, and Corey Horsburgh came second. And then I was like, who the hell is that Ranger dude? And there was this big bald guy sitting next to me about 2 meters away. He goes, that Ranger's my son, Corey Orsberg. And I was like, oh. And then from then on in, we just called him Ranger. He didn't get the name Corey.
Fair enough.
But yeah, he's definitely deserved his spot. Come a long way. It's weird seeing how aggressive he is on the field because if you've ever met Corey or know Corey, you know that he's like a little nerd. Well, not a nerd, but he loves playing video games and gets right into all that stuff. He was a very good COD player. But one thing I know is he's a massive competitor. He's very fit and he's aggressive. So it's all the attributes you want when you're playing Origin.
If it wasn't for Queensland's strength and depth in the forwards, he'd have been playing Origin to start this series and perhaps even last year as well. So good on him for getting the nod. On to New South Wales team. Like
I don't mean to laugh, but I just
don't understand what Freddie's trying to stand for here.
Yeah,
so
neither am I. Is it like he knows the series is over? Is he trying to see what's in the realm of possibilities?
Well,
because how many players on that list are missing from game 2?
How many are missing from game 2? Jerome Luai, Junior Borlo, Hudson Young, Frizzell, and Stefano Utoya Kamanu. So,
what is your honest opinion on?
I don't know what this team is supposed to be aiming for. So I know Nico Hines is my friend, and I've got bias towards him, but it's just so weird that he went from being in the squad to not even thought about in the game that doesn't even matter. Like, what is going on? Well, look, Cody Walker, outstanding footballer, playing out of his skin at South Sydney.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it.
He's 33.
Yeah,
it's in a dead rubber game. I reckon Souths would be filthy about this. But that aside, like, what you look. Oh, maybe it's one eye on the future, but then, like, why would you put Cody Walker in? Bradman Best again, like. Why would you not put Matt Burton in there?
That's very early for him too. It's like
but Bradman Best, I actually really like watching him play. I think he's very powerful. Obviously scored a hat-trick against a awful Bulldogs defence. But why is Matt Burton not in there? Like, you've got Hines,
I guess it'd be hard to pick him after a 66-0 loss.
Yeah, but I know. Spencer Leniu is another one. For me,
I don't know how
Spencer
he's not in the team.
Is the perfect bench forward.
I'm not even going to lie. I watched the Melbourne game, and until he came on, the game literally flipped on its head. Like, he flipped the game on its head, whether it was a run, a tackle, or just his energy. Like, he flipped the game on his head.
Another guy that played well in that in that game for Penrith, and I don't know if he qualifies for New South Wales, but I know he was born in Sydney. I don't know where he's pledged his allegiance to, but Isaac Tango as well. Like, I might be. He was exceptional on the weekend, but he's another guy. Dylan Edwards, like, I'm hearing from relatively good sources that they were looking at and questioning Josh Adokar. Would you not just put Dylan Edwards on the wing to give him a taste of it?
Yeah. Something.
I really don't understand this team. And then even guys like Utoya Kamanu.
Yeah, got 11 minutes.
Got 11 minutes.
Got 11 minutes.
And then
I love that they put Liam Martin in starting. He should have been there from the very start. He's probably been their best player by a country mile. Like,
and then what's with Clint Gutherson on the bench with Reece Robson? I don't know. Look,
it's
Freddie's watching and observing and knows way more than I do.
Yeah.
But you've got to...
I mean, not way more.
Mate, no, but if mate, seriously,
you're a 500-year veteran footy player. I wouldn't say way more.
Seriously, with this team, this could make or break. This could make or break whether or not he continues on.
Yeah.
Because I think after game 2, it was like, oh, will he stay? Will he go? I think most people will lead. I think there was initially a little bit of chat around, oh, it's time to get someone else. Most people have gone back to the drawing board on that and gone, oh, well, actually, Freddie, his record is okay. It's passable. Yeah, there's some things they'd want to get right. But with this team selection, I think he's added more pressure on himself to keep his job. Do you know? Because if they go out and lose this game, ultimately questions are going to be asked. Like, well, what were you doing? What were you thinking picking Cody Walker? What were you doing thinking picking Gutherson off the bench? Why didn't you pick Lanu? Why didn't you pick Burton? Why didn't you pick Hines? What was there's 2 guys in this from the New South Wales teams from game 1, game 2 that have played 11 minutes each, and then not been seen again.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough as well because Stefan is such a young player, probably not ready. Like he didn't have many NRL games under his belt, and to expect him to be able to prove himself in 11 minutes, and which was pretty much already decided game when he come on the field, it's pretty upsetting, to be honest. Like it's probably big knock to his confidence, you know, like
massive.
As a person, and then not even being able to prove himself again in game 3. It's tough, and like I'm respectfully, I love Gutho and I love him playing, but it's a really weird pick.
Like Gutho will be in the same, probably in the same situation that Hines was in, where he might not get on, and he's there to cover. And I get that, but I don't know if you can have like Reece Robson as a hooker as well. Like,
yeah, it's a.
And even that with their bench, Isaiah Yeo and Fifita, sorry.
Jeez, I bet Cookie's breathing a breath of fresh air, not being able to, not having to go in the centres this time.
Yeah, well, yeah, at least that.
Oh, the poor man, bro.
But going back to the Spencer Lenu chat, he did turn the game. I think
he should have been there.
There's a role for people in pathways. I've not been aware of people developing the specialist front rower off the bench role, because
I made a career of it.
But there's a massive difference. Spencer Lenu can play that role, and he's better than anyone. And the sting has gone out of the game. Yeah, he'd still have that same intensity when he starts, but I think he's more effective for the team and the whole collective coming off the bench at this moment in time. Like, yes, would he want to start? But I don't know. Maybe a good coach, like maybe Robinson next year won't start him. He'll keep doing what he's done for Penrith because he does change games. And when you look at Isaiah Yeo and Jacob Saifiti, it's like they're just going to bring more of the same.
Yeah. Well, my thoughts are as well, like, they picked Tavita Pangai to be an intimidator pretty much in the first game. Spencer can do that. They picked Stefan in game 2, who's played 11 minutes. What Spencer Lenu can do in 11 minutes in a game is a lot of difference compared to what Isaiah Yeo or Jacob Saifiti are going to do in 11 minutes.
Mate,
I think he's just the perfect pick for New South Wales.
Me too. I honestly don't. And I still want New South Wales to win.
I hope for Freddie's sake they win. But
Freddie's got a lot
if they
of
don't win and he's under a lot of pressure, is there any other coach that's available?
I don't know, but with this team selection though, geez, this isn't helping him keep his job.
Yeah.
Because there's no real justification for it. Like, it's hard to know what he's trying to do. And I've said, like, guy like Bradman Best, like I say, I really like him. But where is he in the pecking order? Like, he's so low down the pecking order when it comes to centres when everyone's fit. Where if you'd have put a guy like Matt Burton in there, like, he's at least a bit higher up on the utility value.
And you add that stupid bomb of his he's got.
I really don't know. Anyway, like I'm interested to see how Freddie deals with the media in the week, because he's gonna get peppered with questions about these selections. He really is. We're going to take a quick break from the podcast to tell you about AG1, the daily foundational nutritional drink with all your needs in the one place. I like to look after my health, and AG1 takes care of that for me. No more tablets, vitamin pills, all the health nutrition I need, all in the one place every single morning. It's as easy. Open up the fridge, scoop of AG1 in a glass, cold water, stir it with a fork, drink it. It tastes great, and it helps me know. It gives me the peace of mind that all my nutritional needs are taken care of, all in the one drink. It really is as simple as that. And also, anybody that knows anything about health benefits knows that it comes with adding simple routines to your day. It's not about magic pills. They're not going to work. AG1 helps me be the best version of myself by having this new habit of every single morning having that drink. I know my nutritional bases are covered thanks to AG1. A lot of athletes are now taking AG1, and with 75 high quality ingredients, it's no wonder why. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/buy round. That's drinkag1.com/buy round. Check it out. Jeez, there was some defences under pressure. It's crazy. The Dragons got 50 put on them, and we're not even talking about them.
Do you know the Sharks fly under the radar? I haven't heard much about them, and they're coming second.
Yeah, but they're not really coming second.
Yeah, but they just fly under the radar, don't they?
Yeah, they do a bit, but they're not really coming second. I'm not buying that. I don't buy the league table. You got to just look at the win-loss.
Yeah.
In my opinion, not the total number, because they've had all their buys, and some teams have only had one.
Yeah.
But the Tigers and the Bulldogs.
Is that not the biggest?
So poor.
Is that not the biggest turnaround you've ever seen? The Tigers just put 60 on the Cowboys.
66-18, I think it was, or 66.
I think we spoke about it last week, but the Queensland games are really helping those Queensland teams. Like the confidence they're playing with.
Yeah.
And Hamarsai played centre. That was weird as. Is that weird? For the Dolphins?
I reckon it was just a bit short of numbers, put Nicarima at the back. But we'll come to the Bulldogs because I'm not going to dodge it. But do you reckon Benji should take over now?
The Tigers?
Yeah, or for next year?
I have no idea.
I don't think he should.
No, I have no idea, because I just don't think it's a smart choice. Whether he wants to or not.
He's going to take over in 2025, but I think at the moment Tim Sheens takes a lot of the bullets for him. I think Benji's running the team, but Tim Sheens does all the ugly stuff that coaches have to do. Yeah. Just protect him a little bit.
Yeah, they need some protecting at the moment for that. 74-0. What's the biggest score ever? Since 1935.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Some crazy stat.
Jesus.
But look, I think Tim Sheens has been there, done that, got the T-shirt. But for a guy like Benji, I worked with him quite a bit, smart operator, and he's not naive enough to think that these sort of days wouldn't come, like these challenging days. So he'll be all right.
And they lose Brooks next year.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for the Tigers, they're not the only team that's in the market for number sevens for play half.
And that's the cycle teams like that go through. They're not the only one in the market, and then they have to pay stupid, ridiculous prices for borderline superstars.
Yeah, and you've got 4 teams really with money to spend. So you got the Tigers, the Dolphins, the Dogs, and then the.
Do the Dogs have money?
Yeah, they do. And then the Dragons or the Titans. One of those. So, but on to the Dogs. Jeez, it was a tough watch.
I didn't watch it.
No.
Fortunately.
You didn't miss much. Well, you missed a lot of tries. The poor old middle of the Dogs got hammered again. And then the very fact that Newcastle scored 66 points, 11 tries. I think it was 11 tries. Was it 11 tries, Tony? Yeah. 11 tries.
Did he kick 100%?
Well, Dom Young didn't score because they were just like it was all Newcastle's left edge. I think what they saw Paul Alamotti, Rajab and Ockenbaugh all next to each other, and they just kept hammering those three and the middle, and just got so much joy. And Bulldogs fans booing at half time. Look, I support their right to boo and express themselves. And then they, a walkout. Look, I think Cam Serraldo has said that. I'm paraphrasing here, but the job is probably bigger than he thought, and I think, it's gonna take a lot to change it around. And I think, in defence of him, the club, Gus, everybody there, he came on a 5-year deal because everybody there knew this wasn't going to be a quick fix.
Yeah. Because
if you give him, the stereotypical 3-year deal, well, this time in 12 months, they're making a call, do we extend or not? But they knew this is going to take some work.
Yeah.
And it might take, this is hard for people to hear, and I hope it's not the case because there is some quality to come back and some quality coming in, but it might take another year of struggle, and then that third year, a higher push. And this is just maybe, I'm not saying, but a lot of people saying,
it's similar to Penrith. Like when Gus went there, they were bad for like my first 3 years of my career playing against Penrith. Like they weren't a good side, and then the last 3 years I've played against them now, they're the best side I've ever played. Like, so I don't know what Gus is doing behind the scenes, but I know he's a lot smarter than we think.
Yeah,
and he's putting people in place, and I guess putting the grassroots of the Bulldogs. I reckon it'll be growing. So it's very tough position they're in, but a lot of people, Jimmy, have said they think they're going backwards. What do you think about that?
I think that's wrong. I think the past month of football hasn't been great, and there's some deficiencies have started to show, but I certainly don't think they've gone backwards. If you look to the start of the year, going down to Melbourne and winning.
I was about to say, when they played against Melbourne, that's the style of footy they need to go back to, I think.
Just they were a bit they were gritty, they ground out results or performances. I just think that it's hard. They look a bit tired at the moment. They look frail. They look the way that they look. The best way to explain it is they look fragile. Like on one little crack and then they completely shatter. Like they actually started that game against Newcastle, as hard as this is for people to imagine. That first set of 6 in defence was amazing. Kept Newcastle in the 40 and thought, all right, we're on for a game here. But they just couldn't maintain it because they're the real fragile group at the moment.
Respectfully to Jaden Ockenbaugh as well, like instead of Viliami kick out there.
Yeah.
You've got to...
And look, all teams go through injuries, but... Yeah.
But that's a big one.
Yeah.
And then you've got a old winger playing back row, defending next to a 19-year-old centre. It's a pretty tough arcs.
Yeah, and a half who's played like 3 games.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, it's hard for Bulldogs fans to hear because they've heard this basically since 2017. Like, it's all which is a long time for them.
Yeah.
Like not playing finals.
Especially since that 2010s era of Bulldogs were so good.
Look, I think. It's just the people in the building. There's going to be some changes, but I based off what I know, it's not what I think or what I feel. It's based off what I know. Gus and Cam are the meant to be there.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, mate, part of the Des Hasler, well, not really the Des Hasler effect, but the Justin Holbrook sacking. It's released a couple of clauses for David Fifita and Tino for Suala Malawi.
Has it?
Yeah, they can. I think they've got 3 months to go to the open market.
Wow, that's news up. Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think the Raiders have come with a big offer for Fifita. They were in for him anyway, but I think they've upped that offer and extended the offer.
And he's playing good too.
But he is.
He's playing really good. There's going to be one day when Fifita realises just how strong he is. Like, sometimes I swear when he plays, he just doesn't realise how much damage he can do just by running hard. Like, sometimes I honestly believe that. But, yeah, it's pretty troubling for the Titans because those two people command big coin. Big coin.
But, like, can you imagine the list of queue for Tino? Like, all those clubs that we spoke about, Tigers, Dogs, Dolphins, Dragons, they're all going to be in for him.
And Dolphins already went hard at him. They already went hard at him. Maybe he sees success underneath Wayne Bennett.
Look, well,
I wouldn't be surprised seeing him go to Dolphins because it's not a far move.
Yeah,
and he's from Brisbane. He's from Gympie. Family lives around there. Like, I would not be surprised.
Like, it's strange that they were allowed this clause in, and
it's strange that they just sacked a coach. No word of it.
Yeah,
and no word. Like, just sack, gone.
Des is going to have to work his magic up there and do the pitch to that. Like, they got to pitch all over again to keep them at the Titans and where they're going, because they obviously got a lot of love for Holbrook.
It's hard for me to see Tino go though.
I'm of the opinion I think they'll both stay, but they're gonna get their head turned.
Yeah,
and they're gonna need their head turning back. Like, I don't think it's just gonna be like, we'll just sit on it.
I think Fifita is definitely gonna get head turns because
I think they both will.
Yeah, but Tino's on a mozza, and I think David Fifita he's meant to be taking a pay cut this.
But still, mate, if you look, like I said, those 4 teams in particular. Like, for middle forwards, they'd be crying out for him. They would be like there'll be. I think that news broke today. I think all the clubs will have known about this, through player agents and whatnot. But you know that at those 4 clubs and probably every other club, all the other 13 teams having a recruitment meeting going. Can we get what do you think it'd take to get Tino in? Can we afford him? Can we move this player around? Like, this, I don't know if it's quite Cooper Cronk leaving Melbourne material, where pretty much every team was like, or every Sydney team was like, how can we get him? But with Tino, like, all teams need middles. Like, and
he is class.
I
wouldn't be surprised if Melbourne had a mad crack at him
to go back.
Well, they need. I reckon they need a genuine front rower, like a big dog, another big dog.
Now they moved Nelson to the edge. That's a bit. It's not really fair putting Nelson on an edge, is it?
Jeezy looking good too. He's over in Fiji, the big fella.
It's not fair in playing on edge. That's a joke. But yeah, those.
Wow, that's so interesting.
I know. I reckon there'll be scramble today. There'll be scramble. But I think it's a case of watch this space. Both are in state of origin duty, so they'll be getting hammered with media questions and just saying, I'm just going to concentrate on Queensland, but I guess we'll wait and see.
Geez, the way Billy talks to the media is poetry, eh?
Hey, did you see some of the refereeing decisions over the weekend? There was
I saw a few in the game I was watching, the Roosters game. I didn't like it.
Mate, you know what? in that Roosters game, I know Robinson had to go at the referees, and I know there was some questionable ones. But do you remember when Cherry Evans made the break and Nat Butcher got him and he pulled his leg? And it's like, oh, he's going the bin. The game's over. And the referee said, it's an earn the right tackle.
What do you... Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I don't know what... Well, I've never heard that before. Have you ever heard that before?
I've never heard it before, but like he just let go of the ball as well. You can't...
No, but it's 10 minutes in the bin for Butcher every day of the week. Twice on Sundays. Technically, well, none on a Sunday.
What's in earn the right tackle?
You tell me. You're playing. Have you ever heard that word before? Oh, that's an earn the right tackle. He's earned the right to what? Pull his leg. Cherry Evans had made like a line break.
Yeah, I remember.
I thought, oh, because I was watching it, Butcher's gone here. And the referee just said, no, it's an earn the right tackle, go away. I'm not going to talk about it. It's an earn the right tackle. I'm not going to talk about it now because the Manly players were like, get him in the sin bin.
Yeah, I can't say I know what to earn the right tackle is. I'd like to... I've never even seen like a rule book.
Earn the right tackle is a new one for me. And how that speaking of David Fifita, how that try was not given.
Which try was it? What happened?
Just before half time, they put a kick in. Fifita's like sort of in contest for the ball, got it down, and I think it was Casey Badger in the bunker said he's pushed him. Joke. And
the Nelson one.
It's weird because the bunker's there to get more decisions right.
That was a good one.
Not,
I was supporting Melbourne.
Not less decisions wrong. It's to get more decisions right.
Yeah. Oh man, he got it down.
Even Nelson didn't think he'd scored. Like, it would be a great question for a quiz that, like, put Nelson's face after that try, or like a little...
Was this a try?
Like, what has happened in the game? Is it A, a try has been scored, B, Nelson's knocked on, C, Nelson has been sent to the sin bin, or D, he's just, I don't know, whatever, asked for a captain's challenge. You're not saying he scored.
Yeah.
Anyway, now it's time for this.
Fan feelings.
Nothing more than...
How do you feel?
All right, let's have a listen to the first question.
Jam and cheese, idea on Origin. Let's get rid of these 3 bye rounds for everyone. Let's have 3 weeks of Origin, and at the same time have a round robin of international games for the Pacific. We can have it all in the same location that weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday games. That way then we get rid of all the byes that are scattered through the season, and we solve the Origin problem. What's your thoughts?
I reckon you'll have a more detailed answer than me.
Well,
but we need at least one bye. You need at least one bye, surely.
You need more than one.
I don't think you need.
And I don't mean like from a player welfare point of view, because the maths.
How does the maths work? Like the amount of because
there's 17 teams.
Yeah, right.
And you can't work.
Can't you just have one then? Or?
No, it doesn't work.
Why not? If 3 works, why doesn't 1 work?
What?
Both odd numbers. That's what.
Because
that was my math.
Because after round.
Can we get the edit where?
After round 17, everyone would have had a bye. So everyone would be on 1, and then on round 18, you'd still need someone to have another bye. That's why you have 3, because 3 makes it even. That means everybody has 3.
An odd number makes it even. Crazy.
Well, do you know what I mean? Though? Because if everyone had 1 bye, and you just had it a week to week to week to week to week proposition, then on round 18, someone would have another one.
So why can't 2 work?
Because Maybe it would, but I think I guess it doesn't really matter. But I think 3, you'd need to speak to someone who's better than maths than me. Why 2 may or may not work, but I know that 3 does.
Could you do like a tanking system where if you finish last, you get an extra bye the next year?
Well, so you get 2 extra points.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really wanted to.
Like in basketball, you get the first round draft pick.
Well, I actually think that you should that preseason tournament that they do. That should be you get to pick or at least one bye for the following season. So if you win the preseason, if you finish top in the preseason tournament in 2024, you get to pick one bye in season 2025. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, like an extra one, or you just get to pick
you get
when
to
it
pick
is?
when it is.
So you take the last round.
Well, would you?
Yeah, I would.
And that then, the team that finishes second, they get the second, and then you put it into the algorithm. They do all the rest. But I think that's a great idea in theory.
Or I'd pick. Oh no, you don't get 2 byes, thanks. Try to pick somewhere around the European summer. Have my bye back to back byes.
Yeah. Well, maybe that could be it. Maybe you get to pick all 3 and just go back to back to back.
Back to back byes.
Look, I think it's a great idea.
Coachella.
This Origin thing needs to get looked at, but I mean, someone come up with a better theory than what we've got now. And yeah, I don't think you can pause the season. I don't think it brings enough hype towards Origin. I think you have the same problem by doing it at the end of the season.
I agree. Can you have one game in the middle, one game start, one game middle, one game finish? No, you couldn't.
No, I've said this, and it's a culture thing. It's funny. I don't know why we play a 3rd game for a dead rubber.
Yeah, you got so much hate for that.
So what?
I know, I was just saying. But yeah.
It's just a cultural thing. Oh no, we've always done it. Like, and this is legit. So I've got friends coming over from America, and they're going to Origin 3, and they're like, "Well, hang on, Queensland are 2-0 up. Why are you playing it?" I was like, "I'm not playing it." Then why are they playing it? Because it doesn't happen in their culture, but it happens here. It's like, oh, it's tradition. It's a whitewash. Well, you've got your whitewash. It's 2-0.
Speaking of 2-0, I've got a quick question for you.
Go on.
How do you feel about the Barristow wicket in the Ashes?
Shithousery, isn't it?
What's your real thoughts on that?
Shithousery.
Are you angry? I don't have skin in the game. I'm not
not like mad into the Ashes, but I'm keeping a close eye on it. I reckon its gloves are off.
I reckon Barry can throw him too. He looks like a dog.
I reckon the gloves are off, and you know things are bad when the toffs at Lords are into you. So, like, walking through. But yeah, nice diversion there, Cheese. You've been dying to get that in, haven't you?
I just thought about it.
Yeah.
I know the Aussies are 2-0 up.
Anyway, this is the thing. Clubs are complaining about player workload, when to have Origin. When the stakes are so high and it can be so consequential, why do you play a 3rd game? Well, and you know what the answer is? Money. Clubs, stop moaning about your players, because that money pays for your grant that you receive off the NRL. But also, here's what people don't or people fail to see. Can you imagine you don't have a 3rd game this year, how much hype there would be around deciders? Like how much extra hype? So people fail to see that. They only see what's taken away. They don't see what they gain. Because sometimes less is more, Cheese.
They just need a bigger stadium. We don't have a big stadium.
Who?
Like 50,000. Like Origin 3.
No, ANZ. I mean, Accor.
That's what I'm saying. Like an ANZ, an Origin decider. If there is a decider with only 2 games, you would need a big stadium.
No, for the third.
For the third game.
Yeah, but mate, can you imagine all the hype? Like, whoa, we didn't get it aside. Like this, that then it makes it even more precious, more special. But you're not guaranteed every single year. So at the moment, we're guaranteed 3 games every single year, but we wouldn't always have it guaranteed. So the hype would be more. The hype would be better, but people fail to see this because they only see
it's like
that
Game 7 basketball is massive.
Yeah, exactly.
Massive. All the moments in that decider for the Origin would be that much bigger.
Exactly, but it isn't going to happen because the money that they get, because they just want the guaranteed revenue, the guaranteed. Even though there's only going to be 2/3 full at a core stadium, ratings won't be as high if they've sold all the advertising packages. But can you imagine the scramble for tickets? Like, how good would that be to actually generate a legitimate scramble for tickets?
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be Taylor Swift-esque, but which is really pissing me off, by the way.
What, Taylor Swift?
Yeah, where was I? I can't remember.
Mate, I tried to get him as well.
You are joking.
What? No.
Jesus. Surely you can pull some strings to get some.
I'm going to try. I'll let the dust settle down first.
I can't remember who I was speaking to.
Who's that singer coming? What's her name? It's Taylor Swift. You have any tickets?
Mate, you can pull some. You'll be able to get
Where's she
some.
playing?
Probably a core. Ruin the pitch
A
for
core?
everyone. Yeah, I can't remember who I was speaking to. It was like, oh, hey, how's your week been? And they were like, oh, been quite emotional, actually. I was like, why? She's like, oh, I cried when I got Taylor Swift tickets. It's like, you what? She was like, yeah, I was crying.
Well, she'd never come back here again, will she?
She was crying because she got them.
I needed to confirm this, but I read somewhere she gets 105% of the ticket revenue. How does that work? Tell me how that works.
That works because maybe a core when you guarantee you've got that many people coming into a venue.
Yeah, was this guaranteed?
Think of the money they're going to make on
elsewhere.
Food and beverage.
Yeah, but surely you're not paying for Taylor Swift to come, and then you're banking on making money off food and beverage.
Maybe it's government. Government maybe chip in.
Yeah, they must do something. And I also the same site I read that on, it said that she would make upwards of $1.5 billion in this tour.
Well, if that's the case, just come back next year as well. Do you know what I mean?
I know, but you're diluting the market then, see?
Yeah, but you don't tell them you're coming back. We should be managing Taylor Swift.
I sort of wanted to get tickets just in case I wanted to go, but also like
I don't think it's a just in case I want to go event.
No, it's also a valuable asset to have.
Look,
if you get 2 tickets to Taylor Swift in 8 months' time, they're worth 10 times what you paid for them.
Yeah,
easily.
But can you imagine going right? So, like I said, I had that interaction with someone. They were crying. Can you imagine the overcoming of emotion by a certain demographic of people in that stadium? You'd be like, ah! Like that'll do me. I'll just watch it on YouTube.
Shake it off. I like some of her songs. I really do.
Look,
Anti-Hero.
I am not like a massive music person. Like I know what I like. It's a bit old, whatever. Listen to, but I mean,
do you know any Taylor Swift songs?
Shake It Off. But I probably didn't know it was her. In fact, I asked, well, what does she sing? And said, oh yeah, okay, I recognise some of these songs, but I mean, am I gonna like? I live probably an hour away from the stadium. I got to get there. It's gonna be super busy.
So you're not crying.
You know what? If someone said to me, "Here's some Taylor Swift tickets," and this isn't this is just me being who I am, I'll probably say I'm all right. Would you pay me to go? Like putting a promo. Got a promo Taylor Swift. Oh, can you be bothered? Oh, it's an hour away. Can you organise parking for me?
Ladbrokes live.
Imagine that. We're just doing a live show.
Taking bets on what Taylor Swift will be wearing at the
Mate, you know what? There probably will be a market on that. Have we got any more listener questions?
We kind of went on a tangent. Sorry. Is it tangent? Is that the word?
Yes. We got Tim Collins. And this is quite appropriate that there's a siren going off in the background. Wants to know, what is the best etiquette when a fire alarm goes off? Now, this is, I think, a bit of a... I don't know if Tim Collins did write in this question. I think it's coming from Charlie White.
He definitely written. He's actually Lindsay Collins' uncle.
Lindsay Collins' uncle. Because I was being ridiculed on Triple M on Thursday. There was a fire alarm going off at PointsBet Stadium in Cronulla, and I leave the commentary box and start to vacate the ground.
What do you mean?
The fire alarm was going off. It tends to mean there's a fire.
You sound like you were trying to shirk some work. That's what you sound like.
Mate, it's insane human conditioning. How we now hear an alarm and it's like, oh God. It's not, oh, I better go and get myself to a safe place.
Yeah.
Just
the fire alarm, I reckon, doesn't mean squat. I reckon the fire alarm goes off and then you wait for someone to go, all right, we're in fucking trouble.
Well, that's it. I ain't waiting to find out.
That's good. That's good.
So someone might be like, James, we're in trouble. I'm like, I know. I'm going. That's why I'm leaving. Like,
Jimmy, where are you? There's a fire, and mate, I'm already
out.
gone, mate.
Yeah, where are you? Like panicking. Where's he gone? I'm at home.
Myself, I'd go put the fire out.
Well,
but you know what I mean? Like over the speakerphone, they go, "Alert! This is not a drill." Like or
you just start going. It happens all the time. You hear a house alarm go off, and people are like, "Oh, bloody hell!
Yeah,
that alarm's going off." It's doing my head in. Not, oh, I wonder if there's an intruder in there. Like, let's go and check it out. Maybe call it. It's insane.
I agree.
We've become conditioned now to just think, and sometimes like a small fire, like it's time to get out.
Yeah.
Bit of smoke, boom,
gone.
Anyway,
my fire alarm goes off pretty much every time I cook. I like that high heat sear on a steak.
Got to get better ventilation. Open a window.
I open the sliding door.
Do you like waft it with a tea towel?
Tea towel.
Yeah, good. You got to keep it, and then you waft them with your tea towel. But
it's funny when I do it. I go out and then smash it with the tea towel. When my little brother does it, I go off my rocker. You bloody idiot!
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, mate? Turn the heat down. You
need to use an oil with a high smoke point.
I go off my rocket at him.
Did you use olive oil again? What oil do you cook with? Ghee. Oh, it's not. Is that a butter?
High smoke point.
Rice bran oil. Good high smoke point.
Ooh, seed oil.
I use olive oil. Next, it's better.
I was gonna say seed oil is no good for you. Very bad for you, actually. Seed oil.
You know when people say that to you, you kind of like, well, based off all the things I'm doing
Worse
around
than
life.
Smoking. That's what they say.
They don't say that.
Worse than smoking seed oils.
Do that. Brandon Smith's views do not reflect the views of the buy round. And this is not a public health alert. The alert is if you hear a fire alarm, get out.
I'm not saying put down the seed oils, pick up the cigarettes.
No, I know you're not saying that. I know you're not saying that. No, don't be confused. He's not saying start smoking cigarettes instead of using seed oil because they're two different things.
Yes, I'm
not having that seed oils are worse for you than cigarettes. I love it when people, and I'm not saying this to you, but when people like will just drill down on like one minute thing, like for example a seed oil, but like don't worry about all the other crap that they're doing. like don't exercise or like just I'm eating chocolate. You know what's really bad for you? That's seed oil. Like
an interesting fact actually that about chocolate is if it says choc like a choc bar, like because it's illegal to promote chocolate if it's not real chocolate. So a lot of muesli bars are artificial chocolate. Did you know that? So they say muesli.
What?
Yeah, muesli choc bar. Because like there's a definition for chocolate, like what it's got to have in it, a certain amount of like ingredients like to make chocolate, and a lot of companies just they get by it by writing choc bar. So if you go and see, oh, this is a choc bar, muesli bar. Usually, some of the good muesli brands will say made with real chocolate.
That's a great fun fact.
Thank you.
I want to be next time I'm at
I'm
I'm at the supermarket.
because artificial
I'm gonna be
chocolates it's packed full of seed oil.
You're an idiot. You're even more of an idiot than I am, and that's saying something. I think that's about. We're gonna have to wrap it up.
We're going way too far.
We are gonna have to wrap this up. But guys out there that are using their seed oils, look,
Take a real hard look in the mirror, you pigs.
and that does not reflect the views of myself, Tony Soprano, Charlie White, everybody else involved at the buy round. There's a Brandon Smith's own personal views, and
I
in
don't
no
know if that
way
was a joke
reflect.
because his name's Soprano. It was a joke.
No, that's what Anthony Maroon calls him, which gets me every time. Every time. All right, thanks for listening to the Jam and Cheese Show, guys. We'll
Thanks
catch
for
you
having
next
us.
week.